My name is Rachel Miller. I'm a 42-year-old woman, mother, a wife, and someone who never expected to be caught off guard in her own home, especially by my stepson. Life has its own mysterious ways of unfolding, and the gesture he made that day will stay with me forever. I married David Miller 8 years ago at the time. He was a single father, raising a 9-year-old boy named Ethan, I'll admit. Blending into a new family wasn't easy. Ethan was polite but distant. Careful not to get too close to me. I understood. I never tried to force a maternal bond on him. I just wanted to be there. Steady and consistent over time. Things smoothed out our home, settled into a quiet rhythm, morning breakfasts, school drop, offs, holidays that started feeling like traditions still. Ethan always called me Rachel. Never mom, and I never asked for more. David was a good man. Strong, responsible, a great provider. But he worked a lot. He ran a logistics company and was often away on business trips that left me home with Ethan. More often than not, I took care of things at home, groceries, bills, cooking, and occasionally helping Ethan with homework if he asked as the years went by. Ethan grew from a reserved little boy into a thoughtful, intelligent young man still. There was always a certain distance between us. Something I didn't try to breach then. Came the summer of Ethan's senior year in high school. David had just left on a 2-week trip to Seattle for a major corporate conference. It was just Ethan and me at home. I figured I'd keep things simple: pizza, nights, some movies, and maybe catch up on gardening. What I didn't expect was for Ethan to initiate anything beyond the usual hey or thanks for dinner, but something shifted that week. It began with small things. He started helping me more voluntarily. One evening, I was carrying a heavy basket of laundry downstairs, and he stepped in without a word and took it from me another day. I found the dishes already washed when I came down from a late afternoon nap one morning. He made coffee and brought it to me on the patio where I like to read. He didn't say much, just smiled and sat beside me with his own cup. I was surprised pleasantly, but I didn't make a big deal of it. Teenagers have moods, and sometimes they're just in a good place. But the biggest surprise came toward the end of the week. It was a Friday evening. I had spent most of the day deep cleaning the living room and organizing boxes that had been sitting in the garage for years. At the time I collapsed onto the couch. I was exhausted, my hair was messy, my clothes dusty, and my feet ached. I was thinking of ordering some takeout when Ethan walked in with a canvas bag. "I got something for you," said. I looked up, startled for me. He nodded. "Yeah, you've been doing a lot. Thought you deserved something nice." He pulled out a small box from the bag and handed it to me. It was a hand cream set with lavender and rosemary scents. Oh, my favorite. I didn't even remember mentioning that to him. I opened the box slowly. Touched by the gesture, I smiled, but my throat tightened. "Ethan, thank you," I said quietly. He shrugged. But I could tell he was watching for my reaction. "You always do so much for Dad and me, I guess. I just wanted to say thanks. I know I'm not always expressive. But you're important, Rachel." I was stunned into silence. Those words meant more than I could express in that moment. I reached over and touched his arm gently. "That means a lot to me, really." He smiled a little awkwardly, then stood up. "I'll order some Chinese food, your favorite, right? Orange chicken." I nodded, and he left the room, leaving me there holding that little box like it was gold. I never expected that kind of appreciation from Ethan, not because he was rude. He never was. But because he had always been guarded that night. We ate dinner together, laughed over a comedy special, and talked for hours. It was the most comfortable I had ever felt with him. We were no longer just polite cohabitants. We were family, finally in sync. The next day, I woke up to a clean kitchen. He had made breakfast, eggs, toast, and even cut up fruit like I used to do for him when he was younger. He left a note beside my plate. "Hope you like it. Thanks for being there." David came home 3 days later. I told him everything, and he was deeply moved. He's growing up. David said, "And he clearly sees you for who you are." I couldn't be more grateful after that week. Things changed for good between Ethan and me. We shared more moments, Sunday afternoon walks, trips to the bookstore, and quiet conversations about college, relationships, and dreams. When he got into college out of state, I helped him pack on his last day at home. He hugged me tight longer than ever before. "You're more than a stepmom," he whispered. "You've been like a second mom to me. Thank you." I held back tears, just nodding. "You've always been my family, Ethan, always." Now, as I sit here reflecting, On that unexpected gesture, the moment when my stepson reached out in a way I never anticipated, I realized that some bonds take time, patience, and quiet consistency. Love doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it's a simple bottle of hand cream, a warm cup of coffee, or a handwritten note that opens the door to something deeper. Ethan still texts me from college just last week. He sent a picture of a new book he picked up, saying, "Thought you'd love this one." I smiled. We're connected. Now, in a way that only time, effort, and genuine kindness can create. And it all began with an unexpected gesture. One that reminded me that family isn't always about blood sometimes. It's about the moments that catch you off guard and remind you that you're seen, valued, and loved.